way you smell. Now, I can't afford to give tactical soap out all the time these days, but I give out a free bar when I can. It turns people on to the whole Grondike soap experience. Now, with coupon code King Cobra, you can get 15% off your next order, and you too can smell like a rock star. Now, I took a shower before going to the post office to mail off the cock holster and the signed t-shirt. And, yep. No, I told Hippie Jim, I says, bro, you shower with that soap, your wife is going to think you smell sexy. He's like, no shit. And I'm like, dude, that's no shit. Tactical soap is the real deal. I like wearing tactical soap, especially when I go to the bar. I'll walk by of-age women. If you're old enough to be in a bar and drink, you're definitely old enough to sink in the pink. That's the way I see it. No, but I haven't done a live stream in quite some time, so I figured what up, Exhumed? Didn't have any cigarettes when I went to the bar, so I brought my pipe tobacco, my corncob pipe, and my lighter and my pipe tool. I went to Frosty's in the office, and I had a beautiful time. The servers were excellent and on point. Had a bacon cheeseburger at Frosty's. And I took a couple bites before I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm doing a review of this. And you see me pound that son of a bitch down like it's no one's business. Didn't have necessarily enough money to return the favor. I would have bought Jim a drink if I would have had the money, but he gave me a ride home after the night was said and done. So I left him with a parting gift. I says, Jim, my dude, thanks for hanging out with me. Here's a bar of Bond soap. Your wife is going to love the way you smell when you wear this. He's like, no shit. I'm like, that's no shit, dude. LOL, he gifted tactical soap. You can laugh all you want. But I guarantee you, Hippie Jim's never heard or seen anything like it before. Like, tactical soap, what's this? Not to sound like that guy, but people from his generation like tactical soap is just this new crazy concept that people from his generation have never heard of. I guarantee you when he tries it, dude, I can already tell. Went to Frosty's. I had a pitcher of beer and a whiskey sour, Jack Daniels, and lemonade. Then I was drinking with my buddy Jim. We bar hopped on over to Frosty's and had a couple beers. And he's like, "Hey man, I gotta call it a night. My old lady's wanting me home." And I said, "Dude, I totally get it." And the fact that he gave me a ride home is greatly appreciated. So honestly, I don't mind gifting him a bar of the tactical soap. I have a feeling that when he showers with it and the way his wife reacts to it when he wears it, he's going to be like, "Okay, I see why Cobra wears the soap." Yeah. No, women don't have to try very hard to make a man horny. All they got to do is fucking show up. Men, we're bending over backwards trying to impress women with the stupid shit we do. The biggest complaint that women have is that men stink. So tactical soap will not only help you smell good for the ladies, but it might also increase your chances of getting laid. It doesn't guarantee you'll get laid, but it increases your chances. I suffer with Asperger's, so sometimes talking to women's not my strongest suit. However, Cobra fans, when I wear Bond Original #1 Tactical Soap, I like all of the scents from Tactical Soap, to be honest, but my favorite is Bond #1, the black bar of Tactical Soap. It smells like leather and charcoal. It's just an amazing masculine scent. And when I showed up to the office and to Frosty's for a little bit of bar hopping with my buddy Hippie Jim, women noticed. They're like, "Oh, that's King Cobra JFS." They recognize me from the YouTube. And when they walk by me, they're like, "Oh, God damn it. King Cobra smells good." And I'm like, "Yes." Even if I'm not getting laid, who gives a shit? Okay? I put the soap on and I go to the bar. Every chick I walk by is just like, "That dude smells good." You know what I'm saying? I said I was going to do a Sydney Watson video response. You know what? I'm tipsy enough. I might just do that. We got a can of Mountain Dew and some pot tobacco. People are like, "Oh my God, when's Cobra going to go live again?" As soon as I get my internet back. So I appreciate all of you who bought the autographed merchandise. Your merchandise will arrive on Saturday.
Everything just feels so confusing most of the time.
I had this massive bush. I didn't like it, but I never really knew what to do or if there was really anything I could do about it.
Get out, you motherfuckers, the bots.
Oops.
Everything just feels so confusing.
I liked the Isaac Butterfield video and I accidentally hit the skip button. That's all right. The Lie of Female Empowerment, Sydney Watson. It's not what you think. When I first saw this title, YouTube, when I first saw this title, I was triggered. My inner feminist was like, say what now? But as the video progresses, it makes more sense as to why Sydney Watson says, when the perception of female empowerment is different to what I perceive versus what society perceives. And you're going to see how society perceives it. Like we're chilling out, just got back from the bar, hanging out with some friends. I figured, you know what? Let's do a Sydney Watson video response. Watching me just chill out and smoke my pipe and chat with fans, it's fun, but where's the pizzazz? So here's a King Cobra video response to The Lie of Female Empowerment by Sydney Watson. If you want to support true female empowerment, get yourself a female empowerment t-shirt off of my Teespring. Yes, sir. No, it's just a great feeling, YouTube. I shower with the tactical soap. I go out to the bar for drinks. Every of-age chick in the bar I walk by, it's just like, God damn it, that goth dude smells good. Just like in my shower video that y'all seen. Colognes, soap, beard oil, spurts of the Warrior cologne. 2 different colognes, some beard oil, and some soap. And I'm smelling fucking sexy, just masculine.
Using most of the time.
So according to Sydney Watson,
everything just feels so confusing.
Everything does feel confusing, I agree.
Most of the time. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to the Thunderdome. And before we launch in, this video is sponsored by your new daddy, Grounds News. And side note, I would really love it and appreciate it if you guys went and subscribed to my email list on my website, which is in the description. The link is there. Because you never know, I might get yeeted from YouTube. and that would be really sad. When I originally decided to cover this topic, it was after Cardi B had performed her song WAP, or WAP, I guess, at the Grammys. An award show.
People are freaking out because Cardi B performed Wet Ass Pussy at the Grammys. And of course, her performance was suggestive. People have a problem with that, but it's like, bro, I'm not trying to spurg out, but when I went to the Ozzy Osbourne Black Rain Tour Edition concert, Ozzy himself mooned the crowd, literally exposed his bare ass to everyone. Everyone in the audience was like, oh my God. And me, I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, that is classic Ozzy. Yes.
Oh, I don't think anyone watches anymore. And a song that leaves very little to the imagination. A perfect match. Being that Cardi was wearing little clothing.
Ugh. Y'all gonna insert clips of Cardi B's performance? Good Lord, Lucifer.
And on stage she was twerking, or
God damn it. Hey, Cardi B's hot. I'd put some creamer in that coffee if it was consensual. Not trying to be racist, but that's one hot black girl. Sue me.
whatever this is. Political commentators like,
Oh my God, here we go. Candace Owens at Candace Host says, heroic, brave, iconic. The left can't get enough of gross ass, wet ass pussy song. Oh my God, here we go. You know, Tucker Carlson's watching this music video like, hey, I could fap to this. But then he sees Candace Owens, who clearly is upset by this. So he's like, I'm conflicted. The male side of me says this fucking music video makes me horny as shit for of-age pussy. But here's a female who's triggered by it, so I gotta be on my best behavior and act like I'm disgusted and offended because it's Fox News.
Candace Owens likened this to the destruction of our culture. The destruction of...
Oh, Candace, how cute. The destruction of our culture. Please. There were children with smartphones in their pocket, and if that shit is not blocked, children can access online pornography at the blink of an eye. Children are watching the news with their parents, and they see ISIS beheading videos. And somehow Cardi B's performance is damaging to our society. Kiss my Asperger's.
Of my taste buds.
Virtually what we were looking at last night was a lesbian sex scene being simulated on television, and this is considered feminist.
Oh my God! You know why it's considered feminist? Let me tell you something, YouTube. For the longest time, if you were a straight male, your sexuality was celebrated. LGBTQ plus had no rights. So now all of a sudden, now that it's being accepted in our society, all of a sudden it's like, hey, holy shit. You pay attention to Tucker Carlson's face when he's reviewing the segment. He's trying to look serious and concerned, like, yes, this performance is corrupting our youth. Never mind MTV prior to this point. You got 12-year-old boys who are like, hey, I see this big black dude smacking some chick's ass and talking about smacking bitches in their asses and fucking bitches and getting laid and going to the club and showing off the muscles. But the second Cardi B makes a video talking about her wet ass pussy, and showing off her gorgeous female figure, everybody loses their shit. Fuck your double standards. No, it's ridiculous. Like, how many rappers have we seen out there who are rapping about, excuse me, no, I'm serious. Like, you got a bunch of male rappers rapping about how big their dick is, rapping about going to the club and fucking bitches, and all kinds of degrading shit like that. But the second Cardi B does this wet ass pussy song, everybody loses their shits. I'm like, that just reeks of double standards. I could rap about my big King Cobra and going to the club and picking up some sexy ladies, rocking my tactical soap. I can make music about that and nobody would say shit, but the second Cardi B makes a song about her wet ass pussy, everybody loses their shit. And I'm like, okay, I see how it is. Fucking ridiculous.
It's iconic. It's forward. It's progressive. It's the way the world's going, Tucker. And if you don't see that, it's because you're a bigot. You don't understand. This is the way the world needs to go.
Holy shit. Okay, let me just explain something to the audience. You can say to yourself what you want to say. If you don't agree with lesbian, gay, transgender stuff, you can say to yourself, I don't agree with it. I think it's weird. If you don't want to support it, that's your choice. Just don't be a dick about it, okay? The second you go out of your fucking way to harass these people because they are lesbian, straight, trans, bisexual, queer, whatever, that's when we have a fucking problem. You want to harass people for their sexuality? How about we harass pedophiles? Okay, Cobra, calm down. We gotta draw the line somewhere. You want to support people for being gay, straight, lesbian, trans, bisexual, whatever, as long as they're of age and the people they're with are of age and it's consensual. You know what I'm saying? You got people who are like, they're trans disabled. So for whatever fucking reason, they walk into their garage, take a chainsaw, and cut their arm off because they feel like it just doesn't belong there. What? Has the fucking world gone mental? Never mind the soldiers who have lost an arm and a leg to like a pineapple grenade or some shit. These fucking individuals who claim to be trans disabled will literally, they'll use a wheelchair for attention. That's what it is. Now, when I was a kid, if you faked being in a wheelchair for attention, people pulled you out of that chair and kicked your ass and called you a piece of shit. These days, if anybody says shit, you're a transphobe. And it's like, shut the fuck up. I support transgender rights to a degree. You start pretending like you're black when you're whiter than Casper the Friendly Ghost's white bare ass. Okay, I have a problem with that. You want to identify as black? Guess what? If you're white as shit, it's never going to happen. You can inject yourself with melatonin to make yourself look black. You're never going to have the ancestry or the struggle that black folks face. Back when I was a kid, if you put on blackface, you got your ass kicked for that shit. These days, okay, transracial is like the ultimate form of blackface. Don't even get me started on this bullshit. What trans disabled? Holy crap. You got people who are pretending to have Asperger's just because they want the attention. And they identify as autistic. And I'm just like, fuck you. Okay. I was not properly diagnosed until I was 13. And by the time that happened, Asperger's and autism was never even heard of. But the reason why heroic, brave, and iconic, the reason why the song Wet Ass Pussy is being seen as an iconic song is because for years, men have been allowed to make songs about their dicks and about fucking bitches and going to the club, etc. Gyrating on stage for the female sex to lose their shit to. But the second a woman does it, holy crap, everyone loses their shit. And I'm like, fuck off.
I 100% agree with you in the assessment that this feels more sinister. This is starting to me to seem like it's not even left or right. It's not a political issue. This seems like an attack on.
It's not a political issue. If it's not a political issue, then you wouldn't. If it's not a political issue, you wouldn't sit there and say, oh my God, the radical left can't get enough of Cardi B's Wet Ass Pussy song. Bitch, fuck you. If it wasn't a political issue, you wouldn't be sitting there on Fox News like, oh my God, the left can't get enough of this song.
American values, American traditions, and you're actually actively trying to make children aspire to things that are grotesque. This is not about that.
No, it's not about, okay, you know what? I will agree with Fox News on this. Children are exposed to some messed up shit. And you as an adult need to be mature enough to say to your child, you know what, this is done for entertainment purposes. She's entertaining other adults. She is an adult entertaining other adults. If you want to make music, you don't have to be sexual with it. Parents are too fucking scared to explain that to their kids and then sit there and act shocked when they're watching the Grammys with their children like, oh my God, Cardi B has some nice titties and she's showing them off with her sexy of-age ass and her fucking delicious female curves. I am appalled. It's like, dude, we'll get into that here in a second. Little girls who see this, who look up to Cardi B, are going, this is how I'm supposed to act? No!
Diversity anymore, Tucker. It's about perversity. No. We are celebrating perversity in America.
But if we're being honest,
if we're being truly honest, sex sells. The female form has been overly sexualized in our society. if a dude is showing off his muscles and he's shirtless, got hiccups. It's not seen as sexual when a dude rips his shirt off and is showing off for the ladies. But the second a woman shows off her figure, it's seen as being sexually explicit. I'm like, are you fucking mental? No, it's fucking ridiculous. Women have been showing off their figures in music since before Britney Spears. And now you have a problem with it.
This isn't anything we haven't seen before. People took exception to Nicki Minaj's video clip Anaconda back in...
Okay, Nicki Minaj's Anaconda. Here she... Oh, fucking Nicki Minaj is fucking hot. That's another attractive African-American woman. God damn.
In 2014, they took exception to the Super Bowl halftime show performed by J-Lo and Shakira in...
No, J-Lo and Shakira are fucking hot too. Jesus Christ, is a cunt. Exactly my point. The Anaconda music video and then the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show, full of literally half-naked women dressed scantily clad, shaking their asses. You don't got a problem with that. But somehow Cardi B's wet-ass pussy performance at the Grammys is too much.
2020, and Miley Cyrus's whole adult career has just been one giant half-naked...
Miley Cyrus is hot too.
Is this the cultural Marxism I hear so much about?
Welcome to the post-Miley Cyrus world we live in. Miley Cyrus did this dance move called twerking. And at first I thought it's like... At first I thought it was a weed reference. Like instead of tweaking like meth heads do, I thought twerking was like, oh, you're a weed head. You smoke pot. You're so twerking. But then I found out it was a raunchy dance move. Women sitting there shaking their asses like, look at me and my assets. All puns aside.
Jordan Peterson, where are you when I need you? Now, whether you sit on the left, the right, or in the center, or you just like half-naked women, I guess, your reaction to the Grammys...
Half-naked women, as long as they're of age. Giggity-goo. If they're of age and hot, yes.
probably will have been wildly different. On one hand, you have CNN describing...
I've covered this topic on my channel many times. Women view empowerment differently. Here's where the asshole comes out. Your best friend gets rejected by some guy she's trying to ask out. And traditionally speaking, she's less attractive than you are. So, of course, you go off and defend your female friend from that piece of shit pig male. Like, oh my God, all you men are the same. Every woman is created beautifully. She is strong and she is independent, and you just can't handle a strong woman. Let's reverse the scenario. All of a sudden, that same chick who sticks up for her best friend sees a hot chick on OnlyFans, Chatterbait, or Instagram, and all of a sudden the story's a lot different, isn't it? She's sitting there saying, "You're putting too much makeup on. You're representing women in a bad way." All of a sudden she's jealous because she's the ugly one and nobody sticks up for her. And of course, the woman who puts like a pound of makeup on for her Instagram photos is saying, "It's my body, it's my right. I'll do whatever the fuck I want with it. If I want to wear makeup, I view that as empowering, etc." Whereas the woman who is offended by that crap says, "You shouldn't have to wear makeup to feel empowered." And the thing of it is, both sides are right.
This as gloriously twerking, owning the stage in Barbarella-esque outfits.
The glorious twerked, and they gloriously twerked and strutted and owned the stage in Barbella-esque outfits, referencing female empowerment, sexual pride, and delivering undoubtedly one of the most memorable Grammy performances of all time. Have you seen the way Hollywood does the whole Grammy Emmy thing? Jesus Christ, it's like a cleavage show. Every hot female celebrity is fucking showing up wearing some tight dress, showing off her boobs. And then you got the fucking assholes whose job it is to critique the way they dress. It's like, bitch, you're just jealous you're not on the red carpet. Your dumbass is stuck behind the scenes critiquing what they wear. And you know what? Fuck those people who do that shit. A lot of these people spend hours getting ready for the show. Just to have a bunch of people fucking talk shit on the way they dress because they're jealous they're not at where those people are at. Fucking Hollywood is so shallow, two-faced, and hypocritical and fake. Hypothetical. You got, let's say, Jennifer Lopez. Okay, there we go. First celebrity that came to mind. J-Lo is fucking hot. Beside the point, Jennifer Lopez will spend 2 to 3 hours getting ready for the show, getting everything perfect. She shows up to the Hollywood event just to have some snobby asshole be like, "Oh my God, did you see what J-Lo was wearing? She looks like trash." And it's like, fuck you, you jealous, pretentious cocksucker.
Referencing female empowerment, sexual pride, and
Here's the thing of it though. If you were straight and you had sexual pride, for the longest time, nobody gave a shit. But now that the LGBTQ plus agenda is being forced down our throats, whether we support it or not, this is seen as empowering. I support LGBTQ plus rights as long as you're of age and it's consensual. But let's be real, it's being forced down our throats, whether you like it or not. Nobody cares if you're uncomfortable by it. And if you bitch about it, you're a trans, homophobe, whatever. No, these days, if you're white and straight and you get bullied for your sexuality or for your race, nobody says shit. And I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's inappropriate to bully someone for being black, gay, lesbian, etc., it should be equally as inappropriate to bully someone for being straight and white. That's called equality. If you don't like it, then you're not for true equality.
Delivering, undoubtedly, one of the most memorable.
Yes, but at the same time, it's not really harassment when you compare history to the facts. Black people were sprayed by fire hoses. Gay people had their asses kicked because they like taking dick up the ass. So if you want to compare that to being harassed nowadays, it ain't shit. That's why if you're a straight white male like myself, you got to check your privilege.
Grammy performances of all time. Gloriously twerking. Well, that's a combination of words I never want to hear again. And on the other, you have
gloriously twerking, gloriously twerking, gloriously twerking, gloriously twerking. I'm just kidding, Sydney.
Have people like Tucker Carlson saying that it's hard not to conclude that their intention.
He's trying so hard. You know the inner guy in Tucker. Seriously, YouTube. The inner guy. The inner guy in Tucker Carlson is just like, oh goddamn. Cardi B wearing a skimpy outfit and simulating lesbian fun with another chick. That's kind of hot. But Fox News, being as racist and homophobic as it is, he's like, I want to keep my job, so I better talk trash about this crap, even though the look on his face says everything. Tucker Carlson be like, I want to jack off to Cardi B as soon as I get home.
Intentionally trying to degrade our culture and hurt our children. But what I find interesting is how people on the left predominantly.
Do we have to have that conversation? How Cardi B's Grammy performance is hurting our children and damaging our culture? Kiss my ass. You got Joe Biden who's trying to ban menthol cigarettes because it's racist towards blacks. I'm like, what? The stereotype that blacks smoke menthols? Maybe the president's a little racist. Then on top of that, you got Tucker Carlson who's like, this is corrupting our youth. Have you seen MTV?
And some feminists seem to view this performance as female empowerment. In fact, the song WAP, as a general rule, is viewed by some as a feminist anthem.
Because it is about ownership of body and ownership of sexuality. So
yes, you say it's about ownership of body and sexuality, but if a guy comes out as gay, he gets chastised for it. If a woman comes out as lesbian, it's supported. So really, is it an ownership of sexuality or women having more power than men in our modern society? Like, sure, it'll be accepted to a degree, but I feel like lesbians get a lot more acceptance in our society than a man coming out as a homosexual. And I get picked on for my own reasons. So to a degree, I sympathize with homosexuals, and transgendered individuals.
Sometimes I feel like when you are a rapper that does that, either people assume that it was put onto you by men, which it wasn't.
You sure about that, friend? Kind of looks like the majority.
Songwriters for Wet Ass Pussy. The majority of people who wrote Wet Ass Pussy were men. Shocker. Want to sniff it? No.
Majority of people who wrote and produced this song were men. Are these really the...
Here we are for the lyrics. Chorus, Cardi B. Yeah, 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 you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. You trying to copy Bono with the whole yeah, yeah, yeah thing? Who's a bigger douchebag, Bono or Justin Bieber? Okay, Cobra. Pushing buttons over here.
The lyrics of a feminist anthem? I don't know. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The lie of female empowerment. An idea that seems...
Female empowerment is not a lie. It's just the way society perceives it.
Is more deeply rooted in the objectification and degradation of women rather than our actual progression and success. But before I press on and ruin your day, no doubt, let's hear from your new daddy, Ground News. We live in a time where things are very partisan. Left or right, liberal or conservative, people in the middle must feel very left out. But that's why Ground News is a really important app.
Not really. Sydney Watson over here like, people in the middle must feel left out. I am politically speaking in the middle. I don't feel left out. I feel concerned because both sides are equally as hypocritical and corrupt. Both Democrats and Republicans are full of hatred for each other. And you want an example of this? Let's look at the Trump-Biden election. The Democrats were throwing the biggest bitch fit. If Trump got reelected, they were going to threaten to riot, and they were too. So based off of that threat, everyone elected Joe Biden because they didn't want the Democrats to riot. And what happens? Trump's radical supporters storm Capitol Hill. And I'm over here like, can we just stop?
And website for news and current affairs, and one that I personally really like to use. Ground News is a news comparison platform that shows how outlets from across the political spectrum are covering the same story. The cool thing about this is it lets you see how much a story is receiving balanced coverage, how the story has progressed over time, and from where in the world it originated, which helps you identify biases, but also helps you track the mainstream media's lies. Ground News gives you side-by-side comparison.
You saying the mainstream media lies? No. No, the mainstream media is not controlled by Disney and a bunch of other corporations watering down the news to feed us bullshit propaganda and lies based off their political ideology. No.
Of where outlets fall in their political leanings and biases. I also think it's important to note that you're not going to agree with all the bias ratings for outlets, which is fine for those of us who have an opinion on everything, because Ground News takes into consideration audience ratings themselves and then updates outlets accordingly. Ground News is a great step towards impartial news. So click the link in the description to download the Ground News app for free for your enjoyment and news-iness. Now, female empowerment can mean all kinds of things to all kinds of people. Given that there's no universal meaning for it, it mostly revolves around women being provided the power and opportunities to participate in social, economic, political, and educational spaces.
Long story short, if a man can be a cop, so can a woman. If a man can be a firefighter, so can a woman. You see what I'm saying? If a man can deliver mail, God damn it, so can a woman. I gotta take a piss. If men can be rock stars, so can women.
Think of it as giving a woman the tools and confidence to start a business, or letting a Sydney buy a gun. And this is more or less in line with the interests of feminists in the 1960s and 70s, who wanted...
That's the key right there. 1960s and 70s. Women have been treated like crap for centuries. The sexist bullshit behavior of women has been going on for centuries, up until like the 1960s and 70s when they started radicalizing and fighting for their rights. Wyoming was one of the first states, literally the first state, to give women the right to vote, which led to, I thank you, women's lib. Yes, ladies, empower yourselves through the goddess Lilith and the goddess Hecate. Hecate and Lilith, female empowerment. Yes.
Women to be more than housewives and mothers, to pursue higher education or chase career objectives. Part of this movement gave way to the sexual revolution, which gave us casual sex, the contraceptive pill, and abortion on demand. And somewhere between then and now, we ended up with a hypersexualized society that equates objectification to empowerment.
Yeah, here we go. Because of the whole sexual revelation of the 1960s, today, people are now equating that to objectification and calling it female empowerment. It's like, hey, women are encouraged to show off their bodies on social media. And as soon as they do, they get slut shamed for it. Meanwhile, if a dude shows off his body wearing a muscle t-shirt, nobody says shit except look at that stud and his muscles. Fuck your double standards.
Wonderful. On the daily, we're bombarded with images of half-naked women. We see articles about how everything from abortion to porn is empowering for women. We're exposed to music that talks about men degrading women or women embracing their sexuality. Most influencers on social media post half-naked photos, which honestly always seem to be on my Instagram Explore page, and I don't even know why. I don't click them. I want pictures of dogs and probably shoes and maybe even nail polish, maybe wedding rings and wedding dresses and plants. I love plants. Did you hit your head earlier? And mugs and carpets and sightseeing and Scotland. Something especially interesting about this topic for me is that a lot of women act like they self-objectify for their own interests. Take, for example, websites like OnlyFans. Paid subscriptions.
Is it self-objectification? That's the tricky question, YouTube. Some women might call it, and I quote, self-objectification, which I don't think exists, because in order to be objectified, you have to be objectified by someone else, for one. And two, it's not like the women who choose to do OnlyFans are being forced to do it. This kind of goes back to the argument I made earlier about how that one chick sticks up for her ugly best friend when every guy rejects her, but as soon as she sees a chick who's hotter than she is, by golly, she's going to throw a bitch fit and be like, you're objectifying your own gender. And then she turns around, the person she's yelling at, and says, well, it's my choice, it's my body, so if I want to put a pound of makeup on my face, I'm going to do it. You can't stop me.
Services where women can sell nude and lewd content. And as we've already talked about on this channel, a lot of people view this as capitalism at play. They view these websites as the individual's choice, that women particularly can take control.
Yes, there was one side that views this as the woman's choice. On the other hand, what's the other hand of the argument, Sydney?
Control of their bodies through business. While people on the other side of the argument say that this exemplifies the very problem with female empowerment in the modern age. A good
On the other side of the argument, people are saying that this is degrading to women, you're encouraging them, blah, 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 blah. If I can make $1 million showing off my dick on OnlyFans, do you think I'd do it? Oh, fuck it. Yeah, I would. And that's why I got mad respect for women. My ugly, fat, artistic ass can't make $1 million off of OnlyFans. But if you're a hot of-age chick with some nice titties and a sexy-ass body, oh, trust and believe. You know, the way I see it, a lot of men are going, what's the difference? If you go to the bar to pick up chicks, you're still paying for their drinks. If you take a chick out, if you take a young woman out on a date, you're still paying for it. The only difference is you might not get laid. You're still paying for her time. Which makes me think that dating is just a sophisticated version of prostitution. And the only difference is you're not guaranteed to get laid. That's the difference. If a chick has got 4 dudes that want her, she's going on a date with all 4 of them. She's going to go after the dude who has the biggest cock and treats her the nicest and has the most money and has the nicest body. But then they have the audacity to call men shallow because we like big boobs. Kiss my ass. Not all women or men are like that, to be fair.
A recent example of this is Bad Baby, also known as the Cash Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil, as some of you might know her. Effectively, as soon as she turned 18, she announced that she'd started an OnlyFans. And I don't know.
Holy shit. The Catch Me Outside girl is 18. Oh, look out. Legal. All right. And then that's the funny thing of it. Like, no, if not trying to be sexual or perverted, but if Sydney Watson started her own OnlyFans, she can make a shit ton of money too. I'm just saying. But holy crap, Catch Me Outside girl is 18. Yes. Legal age. No, I go 21 and below. That's as low as I go. It made her believe she's 18. She's old enough for sex, but that's not as fun if you can't take her out to the bar and buy her a couple of drinks. I mean, if you're in Europe, it's different because their drinking age is 17 or 18, I think. But if she's 18 or older, then it's consensual. Hey, let's see what Sydney Watson has to say about the Catch Me Outside girl being 18 and starting her own OnlyFans.
No, guys, that feels almost not legal. Probably not okay. Still a child. And
No, Sydney, she's not a child. If you're 18, you can die for your country. You can legally vote. You can buy an AR-15. You can star on a porno. You can rent porno. You can watch porno. You can get a credit card loan, a bank loan. If you're 18, you are legally an adult. Even if you're still in your teens. And some part of me thinks, okay, Sydney Watson's a little jealous because she might be older than the Catch Me Outside girl. But the Catch Me Outside girl literally made $1 million in the first 6 hours of being on OnlyFans. And I'm just saying that women, you don't have to do OnlyFans to make money. Heck, I saw one of my female friends on Facebook who was bitching and complaining. She's like, 1, she has a man. And 2, she does not have an OnlyFans. And 3, she's not going to meet you in real life. That's the consequences of having websites like OnlyFans. Guys get used to this idea of chicks being these Instagram/OnlyFans models.
What's more concerning about this is how she claims to have made $1 million in the 6 hours following her launch, buying images of teenagers just as they turn 18. Wood chipper. This sort.
Honestly, if they're 18 or older and it's consensual, and as long as the guys aren't being super creepy about it, like, hey, you just turned legal age. Oh my God, yes. Yeah. You're old enough to be my daughter, but I'm okay with that as long as you're 18. Oh, it says here you are 18, and logically and realistically, yes. If it was a 17-year-old on OnlyFans or a 16-year-old on OnlyFans selling bikini photos and guys are buying that crap and they're like in their 30s, that'd be a little bit creepy. But to be honest, she's 18. She's old enough. She's an adult, legally speaking, whether you like it or not. It's consensual. So this is the kind of power that women with big tits have over society. And even if your titties aren't like super big, if you're like conventionally attractive, to where a lot of guys want to fuck you, but it's never gonna happen, kind of thing, you can make money off of OnlyFans. I'm just saying, if I can make money showing off my chest on OnlyFans, I'd totally do it. I'd rip my shirt off and be like, "Hey, OnlyFans, check out these pecs." Bunch of horny ass simp females, sluts are idolizing man penis. Like, it's never gonna happen. I don't want to hear about your problems. We're never gonna meet in real life. Why is that always the stereotype for women? The first thing they do when they meet you is most of them want to bitch about their problems. Like, am I a psychiatrist? Am I Dr. fucking Phil? No. You think you're the only one who's got problems? Everyone's got problems. That's what makes life so beautifully fucked off. But don't get me wrong, I genuinely care. If I'm at a bar, having a drink, some conversation comes up, and the chick I'm talking to just starts bitching about her problems, I'm actually a good listener. I'm one of the few guys that actually gives a fuck. You want to bitch to a total stranger about your problems? I'm here to listen. That's one of my more attractive qualities that the of-age ladies find sexy, beyond the muscles, the big cock, the amazing singing skills, and the guitar playing. I'm good with animals, I'm good with old people, and I'm a good listener. And I'm good looking. I focus on those attractive qualities, and that's what I use to pick up chicks. It may not take for a long time because women are so used to that stereotypical bullshit. They're like, hey, if 10 guys faked it and then the one guy that's legit is real about it, they're not going to trust him. It's the goddamn truth. And I'm serious. Men are the same way. 10 women feed the same man a bunch of bullshit compliments. Give some mediocre fucking blowjob. And fuck up on occasionally. And that's just enough to keep men simping after her. Well, this chick, she sucked my dick and told me I was handsome. Oh yeah, we're totally dating. Fuck off. It's no different than a woman being handed a rose and a bunch of pretty compliments. Oh, you're the prettiest woman here. Fuck all these other skanks.
Sort of thing is becoming increasingly normal, especially for young women. But on the other side of things, there's an argument that this sexualization is
You know why it's becoming increasingly normal for women? Because women are going, wait, I was showing off my ass and my titties on Instagram for free when I could be making money off of this? Okay, hold up. Like, women don't have enough money to scam the system as it is. Single moms. Excuse me. You know the single moms who divorced their so-called piece of shit ex? And to be fair, that's not true of all single moms. But the good majority of single moms are just sluts who fucking take advantage of the system. Put another kid in her, she'll pump it back out and charge you for child support. So let's see, on top of screwing the man over, unless in case you're that one celebrity, I forget her name. There's a female celebrity who has to pay like $16,000 in child support. I talked about it on my channel. Her name escapes me at the moment, but usually it's the other way around. Women want equal pay, and I'm all for it, because if women had equal pay, they wouldn't be asking men for $40 fucking dollars. Tell me, does this sound like your relationship? Babe, can I have $60? I just gave you $40 the other day. What the hell do you need $60 for? And of course, she's going off about this purse she saw, these pants that she saw. She wants to get her hair and her nails done. And you as the man want some of-age pussy. You want to get your dick sucked. You want to titty fuck your wife's tits. You want to fuck her pussy. You want her to fucking ride your cock and get on top of you. So, of course, you're like, yeah, okay, yeah. Let me just reach into First International Bank of Simp. Let's see, here's 20, here's 40, here's 10, that's 50, another 10, there's 60. Here you go, babe. Go crazy. Oh my God, you're the best. And of course, she'll brag to her female friends about how you spoil her. Hey, women want a ring on that goddamn finger. Men want some pussy. So at the end of the day, it's a fucking business exchange. But is that pussy good enough that you want to fucking tie it down and marry it? Well, that depends on how well you get along with your other half. If your woman starts pulling the whole, I'm not giving you any more pussy until I see a ring on this finger. Yeah, that's no different than men pressuring women for sex. You want to call me an asshole for saying it, but it's the goddamn truth. Considering how many men have busted their balls to pay for an overly expensive ring just to get divorced a year and a half later and have their fucking cunt of an ex-wife fucking take everything they own. Fucking rich. If you're a woman and that offends you, King Cobra, fuck you. Are you of age, clean, and hot? What time, what position, baby? Pressuring a woman to have sex when she doesn't want it is no different than pressuring a man to get married when he's not ready. Gender equality is a bitch like that. Could you imagine if it was the other way around? If a man's pressuring a woman to get married and she's just not ready to settle down just yet, she'll break up with him for the pressure and then turn around and bitch when she can't find a decent guy to marry. The dating scene for you. Yeah.
Centered around male attention and societal validation. I think.
Yes, that's the problem with the society's definition of female empowerment. Is it centered? Literally, the society's definition of female empowerment is centered around male attention and society's validation. Fuck that shit.
The kids call that a self-own. In 2005, Canada's Maclean's magazine published an op-ed called Girls Gone Wrong. The article confirms that young women and teenagers equate female empowerment with self-objectification and degradation, giving all sorts of examples.
Yeah, but this is where the double standard lies. If a woman dresses sexy or does sexual things like dancing on a stripper pole to attract men, she's seen as slutty and provocative. But if a man sits there and shows off his muscles, he either gets called a simp or a stud, depending on if the woman finds him attractive. Believe me, if the woman finds you attractive, you got it made. But if she thinks you're ugly and you're not her type, you're automatically a creep who's trying to rape her. That's how it is. And if men pull that crap, we'd be told, you can't handle rejection, you fucking disgusting men.
From Girls Gone Wild to cable shows like G-String Divas, where stripping is equated to female empowerment.
Dude, I want to fuck it. Oh my god. I'm gonna pop onto my fucking X videos after this, man. I want some of-age pussy. And I need to wait patiently. God damn it. Sex is not a need, it's a want. You want some pussy and you need to wait patiently. The more patient you are, the better it's going to feel when you finally get that chick and you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh my God, that was an awesome night at the bar. Holy shit, my head is swimming. Look down all of a sudden, holy shit, smoking hot of-age goth chick with some sexy pale skin and some black hair and green eyes and some clear skin and some big old titties. Holy shit, how the fuck did I score with that? Holy fuck. the longer and more patient you are, the better it's going to feel when you find that special someone. That's true for both sexes. However, if you walk up to a chick and start squeezing her titties and playing with them, oh my God, you have the nicest titties. Do you work out? You're going to get smacked across the face, charged for sexual harassment, charged with attempted rape. You might have mace or a taser thrown at you, or a drink in your face, or a kick or a knee to the balls. If women come up to you and start feeling your pecs and your biceps, oh my God, do you work out? If you smack her for being too forward with her flirting, just the same as women would do to men, you know what she's going to say? You're like, madam, I have a wife. You know what she's going to say? Well, fucking A, asshole, take a compliment. Jeez, do you smack your wife too? Fuck your double standards.
Ariel Levy, who happens to have the name of a mermaid, the author whose research is covered in this article, observed that girls everywhere do their best to be the skankiest they can, trying to look as slutty, willing, and wanton as possible.
Well, because that's what attracts the guys. I hate to say it, but that's the goddamn truth. Being as skanky, slutty, and as provocative as possible, it's sort of like when the peacock fans out his feathers and puts on a display for the opposite sex, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. Women are peacocking for men. Snapping their thongs and baring their cleavages. These girls had astonishingly gone... What?
Snapping their thongs?
Astonishingly gone any sexist male one step better. They were treating themselves and each other like pieces of meat. When women and men treat each other like sex objects and themselves like sex objects, nobody's happy. At the end of the day, you're trying to attract the of-age opposite sex. You're trying to make an impression like, hey, look at me. Pay attention to me. I'm sexy, goddammit. Any sexist male one step better. The only reason it's perceived as sexist is because if a woman is wearing some booty shorts with some little ass cheeks hanging out and wearing a shirt showing off her big ass titties, a little thong peeking out the back, it's seen as slutty and provocative. But if a man's wearing tight jeans, showing off his bulge, his ass, and is wearing a tight muscle shirt showing off his pecs and his muscles, nobody says, oh my God. They look at him and go, look at that stud.
And no, Australians, we are not talking about flip-flops here.
Oh my God, dude, the chick in those shorts.
And bearing their cleavages.
Oh, and then of course here comes the chick pulling off her bra.
These girls had astoundingly gone any sexist male one step
It's YouTube, so you're not going to see your titties.
better. They were treating themselves and each other like pieces of meat. If anything, admits Levy, women caught up in the liberating aspects of raunch think of men as superior.
No, they do not. That is bullshit. If anything, admits Levy, women who are caught up in the whole liberating aspects of raunchy sexual behavior think of men as superior. Bullshit. If women saw men superior, they wouldn't complain about us. Over and over again, these women are telling me that what?
Over and over again, these women are telling me they want to be like a guy.
Women are telling us guys they want to be just like the guys. It's really fascinating. It's fetishizing masculinity in the sense that maleness in this equation means smart, funny, capable, brave, sexually adventurous, and all of that. Bull fucking shit. Okay, if men are sexually adventurous, for women, we get told you're pigs, calm down. If we try to fucking you know what I'm saying? We've already had this conversation. Women, you don't want to be treated just like men in the sense of domestic abuse, rape, and the double standards where you're held less equal. Everything else, equal pay, equal rights, you want all that. If women got treated like men, if women got treated like men when it came to sexual abuse, rape, and physical abuse, you would fucking hate it. Well, you're a strong woman. Who cares if a guy kicked your ass? Suck it up, you bitch. You would fucking hate it. Because that's the exact kind of crap that men go through. Men are demasculated when they get their ass kicked or their dick raped by a woman. If anything, how is it rape? When all men want is sex, apparently. Yeah, whenever women try to be smart, funny, capable, brave, or sexually adventurous, men get intimidated by that crap. It's called a fragile male masculinity complex.
It's really fascinating. It's fetishizing masculinity in the sense that maleness in this equation means smart, funny, capable, brave, sexually adventurous, all of that. It's sort of funny in a way how society and even feminism tends to uphold male characteristics as empowering.
You think, oh my God, Sydney, I love you. Not like that. Like, I love your videos, but, bro. You think feminism upholds male characteristics? Have you seen the extremist feminists? Feminists hate men. We live in a fucking society where females try to fight for male equality. They get called a weak female who's just trying to get dick. If men try to fight for females' rights, we get called a simp and you're just trying to get pussy. Get the fuck out of here. You think females and feminists... Wow. Then why the fuck are women bitching about masculinity and the whole toxic male movement?
Or the ultimate objective, while simultaneously downplaying traditional female roles that they once said were oppressive. Like raising tiny pudding people. Why are we regressing? Another component that Levy and other researchers have observed is that
at the end of the day, if women do not want to be moms in the kitchen, stay-at-home housewives, more power to them, man. Women have said, you know what? I'm tired of being the stay-at-home mom. Every time the husband comes home, you're fetching his pipe, his slippers, the paper, and a fucking martini. Hey, hon, how was your day? Oh, well, traffic was just the worst. The problem with this, though, is men have not been realized beyond their full potential. Men are seen as bank accounts, dick, sperm donors, and disposable soldiers who die on the front line. And if you can't fix a car or fix the goddamn sink or fix anything when it breaks, and if you can't hide your emotions, I guess you're not a real man. Fuck off. Women have been taught and preached and told and learned their full potential beyond the kitchen. Men, however, have not learned their full potential beyond Mr. Fix-It, Mr. Strong, silent type. If dads or stay-at-home dads, they get called deadbeat pieces of shit who need to get a job. But if women stay home and raise the kids, oh, that's just fine. That's just the nature of things. Fuck you.
that being sexy makes you more popular. Can't relate. One example of this comes from research in 2012 where a group of 6 to 9-year-olds were given a choice between a doll in sexy clothes and a doll in trendy loose-fitting clothes. The girls were then asked which doll looked like them, looked how they wanted to look, was the popular girl in school, and the doll they wanted to play with. 68% of the girls said the sexy doll looked how they wanted to look, and 72% said she was more popular than...
Bullshit! That's how society grooms women. That's why girls at that age picked the sexy doll, so to speak. Women who are playing with dolls, little girls should be taught that you don't have to be sexy or accepted by society to be a woman. You can do whatever you want, honey. You want to be a rocketeer. You want to be a scientist, a cop. You want to be a mail deliverer. You want to be a firefighter. You want to be a cop. You want to be a scientist. You want to be a teacher. Women can do whatever they want. And it's kind of the goddamn truth. Because once they turn 18, holy shit, the whole world just bows to their fucking knees. You think a man turning 18, no one gives a shit. Nobody likes penises. But as soon as a woman turns 18, holy shit, you're consensually old enough for... Wow. And because women want to feel sexy because they are validated on their looks, just like men are validated on our strength. This is why when you see women who get rejected because they're not as pretty as their best friend, holy shit. This is why when men get told, you got your ass kicked by a girl, you fucking pussy, they immediately overcompensate, both sides do.
The non-sexy doll. The researchers noted that other studies have found that sexiness boosts popularity among girls, but not boys. Although the desire to be popular...
Bullshit! Have you seen the toys that boys play with, the G.I. Joe dolls? One would argue it's the same goddamn argument. If you take off your G.I. Joe doll shirt and you look at him, it's stereotypically your chiseled, ripped male. The doll, the action figure, they don't call it Barbie, they call it an action figure. The G.I. Joe doll sitting there with like a 12-pack abs, ridiculously huge biceps and massive pecs, and chiseled good looks, setting unrealistic expectations for men everywhere, just the same as Barbie for the women. But it's never talked about because men were expected to be muscly and fit. If you're a dad bod, you're chastised and criticized. But if you dare criticize a woman for being fat, how dare you? How fucking dare you? Now, if you're a fat chick who wants to do a six-pack abs, nobody says your standards are unrealistic. But if you're a fat dude who wants a chick who's curvy and has nice titties, everyone looks at you and says, bro, your standards are way too high, especially if you're bald and you're creepy looking, according to the ladies. And the only reason that exists is because women are unfortunately validated by their looks. Society has overly sexualized the female form, and on top of that, women are validated for their looks. That's the only reason why the whole fat acceptance, body shaming crap exists for women and doesn't for men.
Is not uniquely female. The pressure to be sexy in order to be popular is. Well, at least it...
Bullshit! What? The pressure to be sexy and fit in? Bullshit. Men experience the exact same crap, Sydney. No offense. Especially when you consider how women treat men when it comes to dating. If you're unattractive in her eyes, you're automatically a rapist and you're automatically creepy. But if she finds you attractive, she's gonna suck your dick.
Makes sense why I had like one friend in.
So I can't imagine why guys would want to look sexy and appeal to women. Could you imagine, though, if men pulled that crap? Your friend Tracy's a bit overweight and busted ass face, has the worst luck with men. So you being the attractive female, you're like, I'm going to be the wing woman. Your friend Tracy's like, oh, she likes that guy at the club over there. So you as the woman are like, okay, you're too much of a pussy bitch to go talk to him, so I'll help you out. You walk over to that guy and you're like, hey, my friend Tracy thinks you're cute. Could you go over and talk to her? It would just make her night. Which one's your friend Tracy? That one over there? Oh, you mean the one that's fat, ugly, and unattractive and giving off super creepy ex-girlfriend vibes? I'm good. All you men are the same. Fuck you. All women are created beautifully. Yeah, you say that until it's an Instagram model who gets more dick than you do just from guys checking her out. What happened to the argument, women? What happened to the whole, you got to support each other in a sisterhood? All women are created beautifully bullshit. You say that until the woman who gets more attention from guys makes you jealous. Because women are catty like that.
In high school. Now, if you're wondering how we got here, you can thank a myriad of things for it, including but not limited to the gradual sexualization of society. And probably one of the
sexualization of society. You know, I haven't watched this far into the Sydney Watson video. I got a couple minutes into it and I was like, I'm doing a video response. The sexualization of society, honey, it's the sexualization of females. Females are overly sexualized in our society. Oh, you find that female stripper attractive because she's got big titties? Well, you're a typical male. Oh, but wait, she finds Magic Mike attractive because he's got a huge cock. Well, then, sucks to be you, bud. I guess your penis ain't big enough.
prevailing ideas of feminist theory called sex-positive feminism. The idea that in order for women to be liberated and empowered, they must be not only openly sexual, but embrace their sexuality.
This what? Sex positive feminine? Oh my god! You can't just say you're openly. Wow, you got. You can't just say you're liberated and you're a strong woman. You got to add the words feminist to it. Sexually liberated feminist. Just stop with this millennial Generation Z bullshit. That's so typical millennial Generation Z bullshit. We can't just call it feminism and being a strong female. We got to add words to it. Hey, I'm all for of-age women being sexually liberated. You want to fuck a bunch of guys at the same time, or have like a little slut fest and fuck as many guys as you can? Hey, no judgment here, man. The only time I'm gonna judge you is if, like, I go to fuck this of-age chick and her pussy looks more beat out than a piece of fucking roast beef. And I'm like, how many guys did you have sex with prior to meeting me? And if she says like 50 plus in the last 4 months, I'm like, you know what? You seem like a nice lady, but I'm good. Thank you for your time. At that point, she's just going to be comparing my dick to all the other fucking dicks she's fucked. And that's how women feel when it comes to players. You think women find the players sexy? You're full of shit. You know why women are disgusted by players? It's because it's the same fucking argument. Women are going to be going, oh, that asshole is just comparing me to the last bitch he slept with. Which, guys and gals, y'all do that shit, and you know it's the truth. He's Chad Thundercock. He may only have a 4-inch penis, but that doesn't stop him from talking to the ladies. His biceps and his brains are smaller. Or excuse me, his biceps are bigger than his penis. His brains? What brains? Ladies, it's Chad Thundercock. How you doing? Chad Thundercock. He drinks Keystone Smooth. That Chad Thundercock bit that I do. Guys say they like slutty women until the bitch fucking sucks some other dude's dick and then leaves her current boyfriend because the dude she's with has a bigger dick and more money. Women say they love assholes until the dude treats them like shit and then fucks some other skank behind their back. It's the goddamn truth. Personally speaking, I don't judge. Even if women are promiscuous, as long as the people they're with are of age and it's consensual, I don't care. Because I'm not here to judge women or men for their sexuality, provided that the people they're with are of age and they're of age and it's consensual. Quite frankly, I get tired of if a man goes out and fucks like 10 chicks within like 2 weeks. People are like, "Oh, you stud! What's your secret?" But if a woman does the same thing, she gets called a slut. And quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of that shit. Now, if women were not slut shamed for their sexual conquest, you wouldn't have you would not have crap like the whole sexually liberated fucking feminist. Would women feel liberated for their sexuality if they weren't slut shamed for it? That's the bigger question. Like, oh, hey, you're encouraged to show off your body on Instagram, OnlyFans, Twitter, YouTube, social media, etc. But as soon as you do, you get slut shamed for it. Fuck off.
This plays out when women embrace sex work, from prostitution to stripping, suggesting this is empowering. Porn, casual sex, being open about their use of sex toys and the amount of sexual partners they've had, and
yeah, but if women are open about the sex toys they have, nobody says shit. You go, girl, get you some. if men are open about the sex toys they have, they get perceived as creeps. If a woman gets a sex doll with a bionic male penis that never gets tired and never gets soft, and if you ever hear men say, that's an unrealistic expectation, you see this female sex doll she's got, it's like 6-pack abs, Mr. Macho Man, fucking 9.5-inch penis with a 2-inch girth that never gets soft. It fucks the shit out of her for as long as she can take it. You don't hear men saying that's an unrealistic expectation. But the second men get a sex doll, holy crap. Women everywhere are freaking out. Like, not all women, mind you, but the good majority of them are like, oh, that's an unrealistic expectation. Not all women have bodies like that. And it's like, do you stop and hear the hypocrisy with this bullshit? They got these fucking penises. I've seen it on Chatterbait. These chicks have these fucking sex toys where the penis is attached to a fucking motor. And all she has to do is bend over and spread her legs. And all you see is... She gets a couple more coins, so she turns up the speed. All of a sudden, it's going faster and faster and faster and faster.
And so on. And at the same time, there is a competing traditional feminist idea that says the objectification of women and their bodies is bad. Objectification is a...
Well... What? Oh my God. So you're telling me, Sydney Watson, that objectifying females for their bodies isn't bad? Okay, I'm trying to follow the logic in this, because when women get made to feel like crap for their bodies, we've seen it happen too many times. Women feel self-conscious. They develop eating disorders. They make themselves throw up. They get depressed because they're not sexy enough. Even women like Kim Kardashian are going to feel self-conscious about their body because of crap like this. Even though there were like hundreds of women who wish they looked like the Kardashians. Oh my God. Last time on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Bruce Jenner chopped off his dick and became a woman. And now Kim Kardashian and her mom are pissed off because Caitlyn Jenner looks better in a dress. Find out what's going to happen next time on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Dun, 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 dun. He did the whole Dragon Ball Z voice. Classic. Objectification is the notion central to feminist theory. It can be roughly defined as the seeing and or treating a person, usually a woman, as an object. Oh yeah, the whole stereotype that only women can be objectified. Bullshit. Men can be just as objectified as women. Think about it. Whenever a man says he's better than a woman at something, you know what she says? Anything a man can do, a woman can do better. And that's the goddamn truth. Because if women objectify men, they get away with it. We get told, well, if you want some pussy, you fucking simp asshole, incel piece of shit, you better kiss her cunt and be nice to her. Now, if a woman tells you, hey, you know what, you should go to the gym and work out, you best do what she says, otherwise you ain't getting laid. But how dare you as a man tell your woman, hey, babe, you should lose a couple pounds. See how well that goes over.
notion central to feminist theory. It can be roughly defined as...
Imagine that. Objectification is a notion that's central to feminist theory. The idea of being a feminist. Women are constantly victims. Women are oppressed. Okay. What's empowering about that? You want to talk about female empowerment, ladies. Constantly viewing your sex and your gender as the victim. Always being oppressed. That women could do no wrong and that men are just assholes. Fuck you. All men are just pigs. Well, if all men are pigs, then all women are cunts. You want to be fair about that argument. And then watch them flip out when you say that. Excuse me, but not all women are like that. Exactly. And not all men are pigs. So fuck your pussy.
Seeing and or treating a person, usually a woman, as an object.
Men don't get treated as objects, please.
Where she is viewed only as a body parts, or for her sexual function. And we've heard...
Yeah, women do get viewed for their body parts, but guess what? Women, you do the same thing to men. What's the first thing you notice about a person? It's the way they look. You think men and women notice each other based off of personality? Not until you get to know the person. The first thing that draws men and women to each other is physical attraction. Looks are not everything, it's only half of it. If a guy sees a hot chick at the bar, that he's just like, God damn it, that chick is hot. Do you think he gives a fuck about her personality? Yeah, maybe after a couple of drinks and talking to her, yes. But at first glance, it's like, hey, that of-age chick has got a pretty face and a hot body. Ooh, Joshy like. Women do the same thing. You'll look for a man who's strong to protect you and keep you safe. No sexism. Girls' power. I am more than a body. Well, I agree for that. Instead of saying girls' power, it's power to the people. No sexism, power to the people. Women are more than sex objects. Men are more than wallets. It's because women are the gatekeepers of sex doesn't mean you should treat them like that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas women are the gatekeepers of sex, men are the key masters. If one key opens up a lock, all right? But if 1,000 keys open up the same lock, that's a pretty shitty lock.
Time and time again how this objectification plays out, driving sexism, oppression, sexual harassment, and even violence. But it's hard.
Yeah, but this whole battle, it's not just sexism, man. It's the whole battle of the sexist crap our society does. That drives women and men to rape each other, to be violent towards each other. You know? Rather than just being like, you know what, I accept my faults as a male. There are some things that some women could do better than me, and I'm okay with that. Rather than women being like, she is woman, There are some things she can't change. She's good at some things, but not everything. It's not good enough. Society pressures women and men to be better than each other and to date. If you don't have somebody to date, you're a fucking loser. And on top of that, if the opposite sex is stronger than you, then you're a weak piece of shit. And I fucking hate it.
At least for me, to not view these things as two completely conflicting ideas. Which brings me to the point that sex-positive empowerment is not about women at all. A TED Talk from 2013 discusses the sexualized images of women in advertising and the effects of
the sexual advertising of women. You're under the age of 21. You're under the age of 21, not quite old enough to drink. Maybe you're 17 or 18 years old, you're still in high school, and your drug counselor says, you shouldn't drink alcohol, it's bad for you. But you're sitting there watching TV, here comes an adult woman wearing a bikini, showing off her juicy big tits and her sexy ass curves, holding some beer. Hey, stud, drink some Suds. Keystone, so smooth. Even if the beer tastes like crap, you're thinking to yourself, well, shit, now I want some pussy and I want to try that beer. And you want to be real about this crap. Women deal with this crap too. If you have a less conventionally attractive woman who sees a fucking hot female celebrity who's of age, showing off her new perfume, she surrounds herself with ridiculously hot guys who are freaking ripped. It's done in black and white to be all dramatic. Oh, jeez. And all of a sudden, she's saying to herself, you know what? If I wear that perfume, she'll be as pretty as the celebrity she's watching. This is why you hear women complain that the women in advertisement don't represent every woman. You're not going to see that crap with men, just simply because men, we're not validated on our looks, we're validated on how tough we are, our strength, our macho-ness. That's why if men try complaining about the goddamn Calvin Klein fucking ads, like, oh my God, not every man has a six-pack abs. You should represent dad bods in those ads. People will tell them to shut the fuck up and quit being a pussy about it.
objectification. She argues that 96% of the sexualized images that we see are of women. And this is
Oh my God! This is what pisses me off, the sexualized images. A woman can't simply pose in a bra and panties without it being sexual. This is fuck, dude. The sexualization of women, you want to talk about this crap. If a woman's sitting there in her bra and panties, like, and you see the Aerie, the A-E-R-I-E, Aerie.com, you see an ad of a chick wearing panties where it slightly creeps up her ass and it's showing off her booty cheeks and her backside. And the fact that that's seen as sexual is ridiculous. Because there's no sex involved. Okay? In order for it to be sexualized, in my opinion, personally, there has to be some kind of porn involved. If you see a chick on Chatterbait who's dancing in her bra and panties, looking all sexy for the camera, even when she takes it off and she's completely nude, it's tasteful. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't become sexual until she starts playing with her boobies, twisting her nipples, rubbing her clit, taking a dildo and shoving it up her pussy. All of a sudden, hey, she's making out with another chick and sucking on her titties. Well then, if there's no sex involved, period, then it's not sexual. If a woman cannot pose in a bra and panties without it being taken as sexual, there's a problem with our society. Like I said, women are overly sexualized in our society, and it pisses me off. All of a sudden, women want to show off their body, but they feel self-conscious about it, regardless if they look good or not.
Especially true in advertising. A study from 1983 to 2003 said that the percentage of ads using sex to sell products rose from 15% to 27%. And that was 20 years ago. Oh my God, that was 20 years ago. What is even happening? I am aged. But what's interesting is that this kind of advertising doesn't even appeal to women. A study from 2000.
Well, it doesn't really appeal to women unless you're a lesbian. When the magazine girl begs, "Come hither," the female reader yawns. No, the female reader gets jealous. The female readers, if they have an eating disorder, are going to look at that. It's just different for women and men. If men pull the same crap in magazines, and if the woman's straight, she's all fucking all over it. Hugh Hefner was told by the women, "How would you feel if we started Playgirl and featured naked men? How do you like them apples?" Hugh Hefner said, "Well, if it makes you happy, go for it." And the only reason it's a different argument for women in this aspect is because, like I said, women have been overly sexualized in our society.
Six demonstrated that the more seductive the model, the more uninterested women are, preferring images of sophisticated women over the.
Beauty and sophistication are in the eye of the beholder. For female magazine readers, sex doesn't sell so much as it bores. Bull fucking shit. If it's a female and she's straight, of course it's not going to interest her. But if she's a lesbian, of course she's going to be all over that shit. If you're a dude trying to sell sexual imagery in a magazine, hey, look at that. Here's a Playgirl model with a cock bigger than your husband's and the abs to match. And he's better looking than your husband. Well,
The former.
But beyond that, this idea that sex sells, I'd like to challenge that directly. Because
how would ya? It's the truth. Sex sells. I hate that expression, to be honest. If you can be overtly sexual in nature with it, it'll sell a product quicker. Someone's not happy that I get to stream this late. Block, delete, ignore. No, sex does sell. Think about it. Going back to what I said earlier about the dude who's too young to drink, but his drug counselor at high school says you shouldn't drink alcohol because it's bad for you. But he goes home to his parents' house and sees a commercial with some hot chick with big titties in a bikini holding up a beer. All of a sudden, he's like, wait. Women are overly sexualized in our society, so if you use women in scantily clad clothing, it sells the product.
Fact is, if sex sold, most women are heterosexual and we are sexual beings. So why?
Oh, stop. Most women are heterosexuals? Look at your generalization. You got a female generalization, females? Holy crap. Could you imagine if a dude said this crap? Yeah, most women are straight. Holy crap, he'd never hear the end of it. Yeah, most women are straight until they realize, one, they're a lesbian, or two, they're sick of men and they want to experiment because they think women won't be as mean. Yeah, right.
Why wouldn't we see half-naked men everywhere in advertising? I would like to propose.
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? See it? Half-naked men.
I would like to propose that something else is being sold.
But didn't you just say, Sydney, that according to an article, women are bored if you try to sell sex? Well, only if you're a female trying to sell it and you're a fellow female just looks at that and goes, oh, great. One more woman to compete with. Fantastic.
Here. To men, they're being sold this idea constantly that they are sexual subjects. They are in the driver's seat. It makes them feel powerful to see images of objectified women everywhere.
Not necessarily. Way to be a sexist cunt and just assume all men are the same. Fuck this bitch. Now, when I see a woman in a bikini and she's posing, I don't see it as objectification. I see it as that's an attractive female model. You couldn't be in the fucking magazines for Playboy or for Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. So you take it out on all the females and the men who participate. Look at that shit. Yeah. That's exactly how it is. You go to the beauty pageant and the judges are like, sorry, you're not pretty enough. So when you're done crying your eyes out behind stage because you're not pretty enough to be in a beauty pageant, you turn that anger into, I know, I want to slut shame every beauty pageant model there is and give guys crap for liking this shit. When meanwhile, if the situation's reversed and it's a beauty pageant for guys, Mr. Muscle Lee Universe, Mr. Strongman competition, your fucking horny female has to sit pussy like. Oh, it's different when we sexually objectify men, isn't it? How is it objectification, though, if women and men choose to be models? That's what I don't get. If they're being forced to do it, that's pretty objectifying. But if they're not being forced to do it, how is it objectification? I'm just asking for a friend.
And for women, we are being sold this idea that this is how we get our value and this is the way to become the ideal sex object, which is why instead of sex selling, these ideas of subjectivity and objectivity are being sold. So we see men's magazines with scantily clad women, and we see women's magazines with scantily clad women.
Holdman goes on to
No, we do not. What the fuck is this bitch on? Women's magazines are usually filled with, scantily clad men. And the only time you're going to see a woman in a woman's magazine is, hey, how to get the perfect bikini body before summer. This is Tiffany. Tiffany's been working out and doing the keto diet. Tiffany's on the cover of Vanity Fair. If you want to get the bikini bod before summer, you got to follow Tiffany's diet. Don't give me that crap.
talk about the
effects of self-objectification, depression, habitual body monitoring, eating disorders, body shame, depressed cognitive functioning, sexual dysfunction, lower self-esteem, lower GPA, lower political efficiency, female competition. Well, female competition is no bullshit. When women see a woman that's more attractive, they insanely become insecure with the way they look. Men do the same thing. Lower political efficiency. Politics have nothing to do with it, but okay. The fuck is GPA? Lower self-esteem. Yeah, you can't have a lower self-esteem. The problem with, and I struggle with an eating disorder. There are days where I'm like, I'm fat and disgusting, so I'll go a couple of days without eating. I got this idea that women want a man who's got six-pack abs, I'm already 6 feet tall. The boner I produce is well over 6 inches. So, why not have the six-pack abs to go with it? And so, I feel self-esteem issues, and I feel very self-conscious about my body. Sexual dysfunction. Well, if you don't feel like you're hot shit, you're not going to want to fuck some shit. That's the goddamn truth. You think you're going to, women are not going to want to have sex with their man if they feel disgusting and unattractive, even if their man is telling them, babe, it's all in your head. Does depressed cognitive functioning? Well, that can happen. Your thinking can go out the door when you're consumed by this idea. Now, I will go to bed when I fucking feel like it. Thank you for being so concerned about my sleep pattern. I appreciate your support. Block, delete, ignore. Body shaming, eating disorders. Yeah, that can happen. Hiccup, oh, you're original. Block, delete, ignore. I don't care if I got the hiccups. I had a fun time hanging out with friends and acquaintances at the bar, so but eating disorders and habitual body monitoring and body shame, that can happen. I love bacon cheeseburgers. In fact, I had one earlier that was just divine. Body shame, I body shame myself all the time. I go to take a shower or I take my shirt off and I'm sitting there pinching the teeny tiny bit of fat that I have in my stomach, and I instantly feel like a fat piece of shit. And I go, you'd be so much sexier if you had a six-pack abs. Hey, I bet you could end your dry spell if you weren't such a fat piece of autistic dumb shit. Which leads to eating disorders. Even though you want a bacon cheeseburger, you say to yourself, nah, no. Even though Taco Bell's delicious, you know what I'm saying? Which leads to habitual body monitoring. You're monitoring what you're eating. And it's okay to monitor what you eat if you want to be more health conscious, but don't deny yourself. If it's not a serious problem, don't deny yourself that simple pleasure in life. You want to eat a bacon cheeseburger and have a slice of strawberry cheesecake afterwards, go for it. Depression? Oh, fuck yeah. That's definitely a big part of it. Must be so frustrating for the trolls to continue texting me stupid dumb shit just to have it ignored, blocked, and deleted. Honestly, there are bigger problems in the world. That's why my trolls don't get to me anymore, to be honest. Like, I'm not the only one getting harassed on the internet, so. But depression, because you feel self-conscious about the way you look, that's a real thing. And I have to tell myself, Josh, you're 6 feet tall, you have muscles, you need to eat. Starving yourself because you hate feeling like you do. So whenever I hear women complain because they feel fat, I kind of relate to it, dude, because men are put underneath the same pressure. Even if female body positivity is more celebrated than men's body positivity.
Of self-objectification, where women themselves place their value in how sexualized they are. And there is a body of research about how damaging this is. HuffPost argues that the way women are commonly portrayed in...
There we go. The way in which women are commonly portrayed in music videos, films, and advertising is not just disrespectful and sexist, it's all at the root of the mental health crisis. Yeah, nobody seems to say shit about the way men are portrayed in music videos, films, and advertisements. Have you seen these crime drama shows where men are 98% of the time the bad guy? You watch like CSI New York, and like every episode it's about some guy raping a chick, and then some chick catches him and busts him. It's like, okay. No one says shit about how the way men are portrayed and shit like that. This whole all men are rapists, pigs, assholes stereotype. There's a reason why that crap exists.
In music videos, films, and advertising is not just disrespectful and sexist, it's at the root of a mental health.
a root of a mental health crisis? Okay, if women are so self-conscious about their own body that other women and the way women are being portrayed in general make them feel guilty about it, trust me, I know how that feels. When men are expected to be macho men, strong Arnold Schwarzenegger types with six-pack abs. This argument is literally the same on both sides. You think men don't feel self-conscious about the way they look when they see a better-looking dude who's got a fuller head of hair and more muscles? Come on.
Health crisis. It leads to eating disorders, lack of self-esteem, anxiety around women's bodies, and not unsurprisingly, self-objectification has been correlated with decreased sexual health among adolescent girls, measured by decreased condom use.
Well, trust me, that's true for both women and men. When you don't feel attractive, you're not going to want to fuck somebody else consensually. That's just how it is. No, trust me, when you're a woman and you feel sexually confident and you feel attractive, okay, your sex partner will agree with me on this. The energy is different. When you're confident and you're feeling sexy and empowered, it shows in your lovemaking. You're just like, yeah, fucking get it.
And diminished sexual assertiveness.
Teens engaged with high levels of media with sexual.
Wait, what?
Correlated with decreased sexual health among adolescent girls, measured by decreased condom use and diminished sexual assertiveness.
Teens and
The idea that being sexually assertive is seen as healthy, only if you're a woman and you're dominating your man, oh, that shit's hot. But if a man tries to be sexually dominating, he's automatically a rapist.
engaged with high levels of media with sexual content are twice as likely to become sexually active before they turn 16.
Yeah.
And twice as likely to experience pregnancy in the next 3 years.
And women now.
Stop. Okay, if you're 16 years old, forget about sex. Wait till you're in college. Do you want to be pregnant, fat, and disgusting? Stuck at home raising a baby with your deadbeat piece of shit high school boyfriend? Well, all of your friends are going to the mall, hanging out, going to prom, fitting in that sexy prom dress. All of a sudden, that job you had when you were 16 working at McDonald's, well, you're going to be working there for a lot longer. That part-time job just became a full-time job. So you can pay for diapers for your stupid-ass, ugly-ass vaginal turd. You want to scare teenagers from having sex until they're in college? When they're like 12 or 13 years old, show them a video of a woman giving live birth out her vagina. And have both women and men present in the room when it happens. Both sides are going to be so grossed out and uncomfortable. It's like, whoa, no. And then you say to them, hey, even though condoms prevent that shit, condoms can break, champ. So there you go. Wait till you're in college. Lest this happen to you. Women at that age are so obsessed with their freaking figure. As we've discussed, how women in general are obsessed with their figure because they're overly sexualized in our society. And there's way too much pressure for women to always be their prettiest.
Now are less happy than they've been in days gone by. Even though we have all the things, but maybe we don't want all the things. Maybe we want a husband and dogs and country music and a nice house in the middle of nowhere. You're literally just describing things that you want. Shut up. You're not even my real dad. Now, in 1997, a team of researchers recruited men and women for an experiment. They had participants either wear a swimsuit or a sweater and then carry out a few tasks, like eating cookies, for example, or carrying out a math test in a room by themselves with no observers, completely alone. The men wearing swimsuits did slightly better than those wearing the sweaters, but the women, the women wearing the swimsuits did significantly worse than those wearing the sweaters. The women also restrained themselves when it came to eating cookies, leading the researchers to conclude that women perform worse and restrain themselves when they are self-objectifying.
No, my God. It's not self-objectification. It's society. It's society objectification. Self-objectification, I kind of agree with the term. Experiment number 2 tested 42 women and 40 men and found out that these effects on body shame and restrained eating replicated for women only. Additionally, self-objectification diminished math performance for women only. Jesus Christ, these are comments. Well, women are definitely made to feel more self-conscious about their bodies than men are. To some degree, that is very true. Even though women and men pretty much face the same standards when it comes to bodies and having the perfect bod. The only difference is if you're a dude and you got titties, people look at you like, bro. I, however, do not judge people based off their looks. I don't judge people based off anything but how they act and how they treat me and other people. I could give a fuck less what you look like. If you're a fucking piece of shit and you treat me like crap and you treat other people like crap, get the fuck away from me. Can Crush for the video. Yes. 1 second. Because regrettably, food is delicious. Regrettably, food is delicious. Yeah, all your stupid troll comments on my phone just get blocked, deleted, and ignored. I don't even read it. As soon as I see what it says, I'm like, oh, a troll's talking shit. Block, delete, ignore. I'm going to upload that burger video I made earlier after this video response.
Side note, imagine participating in this study and having someone ask you what you do for it and you're just like, Eating cookies? Anyway, Heldman talks about habitual body checking as well.
First, the more we think of ourselves and internalize this idea of being sex objects, the higher our rates of depression. We also engage in habitual body monitoring much more when we view ourselves as sex objects. What is habitual body monitoring? The men in the audience.
Yeah, but if beauty is in the eye of the beholder, the idea of looking pretty for the opposite sex doesn't exist. Because if you as a woman or a female are trying to look sexy for the opposite sex, your looks may only appeal to a small group of people. There are some chicks who like fat dudes, and there are some dudes who like heavier set chicks. So is it really a way for you to feel better about yourself, or is it a way to attract the opposite sex?
This might be news to you. It is not news to the women in the audience. We think about the positioning of our legs, the positioning of our hair, where the light is falling, who's looking at us, who's not looking at us. In fact, in the 5 minutes that I've been giving this talk, on average, the women in this audience have engaged in habitual body monitoring 10 times. That is every 30 seconds.
All of this was also confirmed by a study by the American Psychological Association in 2007. You know, the same APA that said that traditional masculinity is bad, that APA, they argue that the sexualization and objectification of women has the same aforementioned negative consequences. It also said that these are the models of femininity presented for young girls to study and emulate. And study and emulate them they do. Please stop this. In saying all of this too, there is some research that says that self-objectification in some cases can make women actually feel better about themselves, which is nice. But it also makes women feel horrible about themselves, so take from that what you will. In my opinion, what we're seeing is the glorification.
Okay, how can it make women feel better about themselves? Because what woman says she's happy after she sits there and stands in the mirror buck-ass naked and starts picking apart every piece of her body, sitting there saying how she wishes her boobs were bigger, how her hips aren't curvy enough, and she'll sit there and pinch that little itty-bitty bit of fat on her stomach, and she'll sit there and say how fat she is, and then she'll grab her ass and be like, oh my god, my ass is so flat. How does that make anyone feel any better? I don't. I try to understand women, but this is the crap where I'm just like, okay, y'all got me confused on this shit.
Of sexual exploitation and self-objectification under the guise of female empowerment. And worse than that, feminists have long argued that men sexualize and objectify women. But today, women are effectively doing that job for them. It's not my favorite. This objectification disguised as empowerment is why we end up with movies like Cuties, Toddlers and Tiaras.
Oh, no, stop. No, my eyes. Oh. Toddlers and Tiaras. That is so gross. Okay, if your little girl is 18, she wants to be in a beauty pageant, go for it. But if you, no, dude, kids should not be competing in beauty pageants, especially if you're a girl. You're a young, impressionable girl, and at that age, you're being taught that looks are more important than smarts. I disagree with that. Because you know those kids are going to grow up and have kids of their own and repeat the same bullshit cycle. I'm going to play the video so the fucking changes.
Women and girls dancing to WAP like this is somehow attractive to anyone. You know what? On second thought, I'm sure it actually is. But I personally hate it. I hate modern dancing so much. If you hadn't already guessed, my overall point here is that being hypersexualized and this hypersexualization that's happening to society, even in the eyes of some feminist groups, is not empowering. And overall, it has more negative consequences for women than good. Yes?
It can. But what's wrong with a woman embracing her sexuality? As long as she's not a chimo, who cares? Especially when we live in a society where men with the same reason were encouraged to embrace it. Men were encouraged to embrace their sexuality provided they were straight for of-age pussy and not gay or whatever. So you have generations of women who are being told, if you're a lesbian, you have to oppress that shit. But if you're straight, hey! And that's horse crap, YouTube. And maybe you hate modern day dancing, Sydney, and that's okay. You're entitled to that opinion. And to some degree, I kind of agree. Women should not have to be overly sexual in our society to get noticed. On a flip side of that coin, but you know how that is. A bunch of women are standing naked and or topless in the streets protesting for women's rights. And nobody cares about that. All they see in the news is women protesting buck-ass naked in the corner in the town square. Now some old causer of an old man who hasn't discovered internet porn yet is going, holy shit! You're telling me there's like 40 naked adult women in the town square? Holy crap! Well, give me a second. I'll put on my cologne, my best Sunday suit, and grab my fanciest cane. Give me a second. No offense to anyone who requires assistance from such devices, but you know how that is. And this perverted old man's just walking down to the town square like, holy crap, He gets there and his jaw just drops. Titties and pussy as far as the eye can see. And even though he's at that age where he can't fuck and he can barely get a boner, and most of the chicks are old enough to be his of-age granddaughter, well, shit. He don't care. So in the meantime, he's like, so what are you women protesting? Don't stare at her titties. Don't stare at her titties. God damn it. And she makes him go deaf with her bullhorn like, this is why we are protesting. You men are just pigs. It's like, wait, you know that straight men love titties. So you protest with your titties out, knowing that men are going to stare. Knowing that half of the men that are staring don't give a shit about what the fuck you have to say, those pig-like half just want to see some boobs. And you're giving them what they fucking want, so there you go. The other half are going, well, I appreciate those of-age titties, but you shouldn't have to show off your body to make your voice be heard. And, you know, as soon as the old man gets home, he's going to pop like, I'm going to jack off to all the titties I seen earlier.
That's correct. Even some of our friends over at Feminist Island think this is a trash idea. We finally agree on something. But I do want to add here that
this is where it gets confusing. You have some feminists who are like, women should not show off their bodies or wear makeup. That's objectification. And you got some feminists who are like, nonsense. That's female empowerment. It's their body. It's their choice. On one argument, you have people saying, yeah, but this is just appealing to men and their overall approval of society's approval. On the other hand, you got people saying, hey, it's our body. It's all right. It's all right. So who's really right in that situation? The problem with this is both sides are right to a degree. But here's the thing of it. If you're doing these things because you want to feel sexy and confident, not because society or men tell you a certain way, then it's different. You can't just judge your fellow woman like that.
being sexy is not a bad thing. And playing up your sexuality, taking control of being an attractive human being is not a bad thing. That's
No, it's not.
what I'm trying to get across here at all. More than anything, I think that we've taken it way too far. And usually I find most arguments about modesty to be equally as annoying as arguments about why twerking is female empowerment. Everything is dumb, and I need a nap. I am completely partial to sexiness and attractiveness and sensualness in the right time and place, for sure.
No, I actually agree, Sydney. There's nothing wrong with embracing yourself as a person. Given that it's the right time and right place. I fully agree, Sydney. Thank you. Time and a place. If anything, I need to have more confidence in myself. I've been rejected by every chick I've liked since the 4th grade, and I'm 30 years old, and I'm going through a 3-year dry spell. However, that doesn't stop me from talking to the of-age honeys. It's just a mindset, man. If anything, I need to have more confidence and acknowledge that I am a good-looking young man, and any woman would be lucky to have me. And just leave it at that. Don't go over the top with it. The problem with our society, though, is that if we try to show confidence, we get told we're narcissistic. If we're not confident enough, it's like you need to be more confident in yourself. The second we show confidence, oh, quit being so narcissistic and egotistical. You know that feeling, Sydney Watson, where she's just like, everything is dumb and I need a nap. I kind of relate to that feeling. People suck and I need a beer. T-shirt available on my Teespring.
And frankly, when I was younger, I definitely fell into the trap of thinking that fewer clothes or sexiness was a precursor to self-esteem and validation and yada yada. I have been there and I won't pretend that I haven't. But I definitely grew up and I definitely learned from it. But I think
no, well, it's definitely true that less clothes doesn't make you empowered. It's just a personal choice. And at the end of the day, if men see it as the way they see it, some men are going to be like, hey, that's, objectification, blah, 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 whatever. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is men and women are peacocking for each other. Women get slut shamed for it. Men get simp shamed for it. And it's ridiculous.
I think, at least in my opinion, it's fairly clear that there are better ways to seek and chase empowerment. And I think in the end...
Yeah, there is. There is. 18 minutes and 42 seconds. The video is 19 minutes long. Actually got a Darman video I want to respond to, but we'll do that later. Oh, don't I know it, Sydney Watson? Shit. When I was in high school, the chicks I went to high school with, yeah. I went to high school with a couple of really hot chicks, I'm just saying. And if they had cleavage or an ass, trust and believe they were going to show it off. Even though the school dress code said no cleavage, didn't stop them. So glad your internet's back. Rock and roll, Cobes. You know it. Block, delete.
This lie of female empowerment will continue to be a net negative in society, making us feel worse when it's supposed to be making us feel better. And maybe we have nobody to blame for that but ourselves. Now,
No, do not blame ourselves. Blame the society we live in. As I've said before, women are encouraged to show off their body on social media, but the second they do, they're slut-shamed for it. They're being told, show off your body, it's empowering. No, don't show it off, it's degrading. Women, just like men, are being sent mixed messages. Kind of like how, oh, hey, women want you, the guy, to make the first move, but as soon as you do make the first move, you're automatically a creep and a rapist if she doesn't find you attractive.
Before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder that you can download Ground News using the link in the description. The app is free, you can use it immediately, and go on and enjoy the news. Now I open the floor to all of you.
No, I said I went to high school with some good-looking chicks. There's a difference. Delete, block, and ignore.
What do you all think? Is female empowerment by today's standards actually predicated on hypersexualization? If it is, do you think that this...
Yes, I do. Today's definition of female empowerment, to a degree, yes, is based off of hypersexualization and appealing to men and society's approval. But on the same note, there are some women who don't even care about that. They just want to express themselves. And is it so fair or unfair anyways? It is. Because, seriously, if a woman shows off her titties, she's slut-shamed for it. But if a man shows off his muscles, he's encouraged and praised for it. Look at this stud.
This is degrading? Do you think that it's beneficial for women? Do you think that feminism has taken things too far or not quite far enough?
I think feminism is a good thing, but what people do with it is the choice. A text message that shows people are so pissed off that I'm ignoring the texts that troll me.
And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you like the video, hit subscribe and the thumbs up button. If you want to leave a comment, free to do so, just be respectful about it. And I will see you guys next time.
Yikes, YouTube. That's a lot of controversy. On one hand, I agree with what Sydney Watson says about it being degrading to a degree. On the other hand, a lot of women say it's their right, it's their body, therefore it's their choice. Anyways, YouTube, thank you for watching this video response / chilling out. I'll catch you later. Subscribe for more.